Wow, look at you, huh?
Good evening, everybody. Tonight we have a very special night. We're honoring two people from Sayreville that are longtime Sayreville residents. The first one is Flora Jean Nelson, was born May 24th, 1926 in Tottenville in Staten Island. And whereas her family has moved from Staten Island to Fords, New Jersey, whereas Flora and sister Esther lived together with their parents until 1951. And whereas she married the love of her life, Otis Smithers, in 1951 and moved to Sayreville in 1965. Whereas Flora dedicated her time being employed at Merck and Rawley until her three kids came along. Whereas her time has then shifted to raising the joys of her life, Christine, Colleen, and David. And whereas Flora has made a brave and determined decision to become an age at the age of 46. Whereas she graduated the top of her class from Charles E. Gregory School of Nursing, and whereas Flora has spent the next 34 years working as a nurse in Raritan Bay Medical Center in Perth Amboy, retiring at the age of 80. Whereas she spent her life helping others and maintaining stability for her family, living with her family home until 1965. She bought on Kendall Drive in 1965 and still lives there.
Yep.
Until today. And whereas today's favorite activity is watch baseball with her favorite team, the New York Mets. She has one other favorite thing. She loves lottery tickets. And the traffic was so bad tonight. I had one more special gift. I was going to pull a lottery ticket out of my pocket and give it to you, but I couldn't make it here for our meeting in time. So I promise you, I'm going to give you one. Whereas now, therefore, I, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of the Borough of Sayreville, extend my heartfelt wishes to Flora as she celebrates her 100th birthday and ask the residents of Sayreville to acknowledge this memorable milestone. Okay. Very good.
I appreciate this.
Oh, this was great. We were waiting to do this for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Well,
John.
then next, see you soon. We have another one tonight. It's going to be a little easier for me than that one. It's going to be John Prisbilko. Please come up, please. John has been a friend of mine for his entire life. We go back, way back in time, to the 70s even. We used to play darts together in Sayreville Bar and all the Bill's Tap Room and all the local pubs. But whereas John Prisbilko has been a lifelong Sayreville resident, and whereas he decided that he followed the American dream and opened up his own business, whereas he opened up Sayreville Seafood on May 11th, 1983, whereas John came up with his own recipes for some own food, showed great commitment by donating a lot of food for Memorial Day to a lot of people in a lot of other places. Whereas his restaurant has been a major hub for updates and finding out current news in town. Whereas Sayreville Seafood and Deli recognizes many as the old-fashioned hangout in the morning. The only thing good about Sayreville Seafood closing, my cholesterol is going down because of all the bacon and egg sandwiches that I don't eat no more. So I got some statistics for John. Whereas over 40 years in business, John whipped up some many incredible statistics. Just think about it. 10 dozen eggs each week amount to 249,000 eggs. 10 pounds of bacon a week, it's 20,800 pounds of bacon. 50 pounds of fish a week, it's 104,000 pounds of fish. 300 clams a week, that's 624,000 clams. Just that John has actually had probably 10,000 clams at the PBA picnics that he's opened up for when he had the big picnics. Whereas John has been an exemplary friend, it'd be sorely missed. Now, therefore, I, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of Borough of Sayreville, hereby extend my heartfelt wishes to John Prisbilko as he celebrates his retirement and ask the residents of Sayreville to acknowledge this memorable milestone. John, congratulations. I present this to you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jerry, sir, thank you. Good job.
Yeah. I gotta put this back.
Hey, John. John, if I miss you this year, John and I share a birthday. Happy birthday, my friend.
That's the best part of the meeting.
Hey, not yet.
I need a motion to accept the first proclamation for Flora Jeans Nelson's 100th birthday.
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Umer,
Yes.
Talisi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Narski,
Yes.
Zabrowski. And I need a motion to accept the proclamation for John Prisbilko's retirement.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Umer,
Yes.
Talisi,
Yes.
Rios, Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Hold on. John, you had something?
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's probably on everybody's tongue as of late. If you're reading the newspaper, if you're watching the news, and Hervé brought this up last meeting, is data centers and the issues surrounding the uncertainty of what they're all about. If you look in the national news, they're talking about tariffs and they're talking about regulations, because they're not really sure what to do because of using of natural resources that most locations have right now. And on the state level, they're looking for ways in which to tax and tariff and what have you. And at the end of the day, I think we've all collectively have spoken with members of our community, not all of them, but most of them. And I think the consensus is one of two things, which is all to one side. And that is, number one, you just don't want them. Or number two, there's just simply not enough information and you don't want them until you find out more about them. So with that in mind, and Hervé, you can either move or I'll second, or I'll move and you second. I personally would like to move for a moratorium for data centers in the borough of Saraville. And what that would be is we would change our ordinances both for zoning as well as redevelopment so that they would be banned. I would suggest that they be banned for a period of time because we obviously don't know what's going on. So banning them for the future, I don't think would be appropriate. Or banning for a period of time, let's say, I'm going to suggest 18 months so that we can study and get more information. If we don't have enough, we can extend it at that point. But I think it's reasonable to have a collective conversation, to maybe be able to get some tours and be able to learn more about what's going on before we make that decision on behalf of our community, which I think is a very huge decision. So I'm going to be asking, however you want to do it, to make that this evening for a request for an ordinance change.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. What I want to say is this. I don't think just a ban for a certain period of time is necessary. What we need to do is what I proposed before, to make it prohibited use in all zones in the borough, including redevelopment zones. However, the reason we don't have to make it for a certain period of time is in the future, when they find ways to be able to cool off the CPUs and GPUs that don't require so much energy, we can always revisit this, because that's all we want, right? We want to be able to use these energy. Actually, I'm all for data centers, by the way. I just don't want them here because I know what they can cause. So banning them for a certain period of time for 18 months is not going to be enough. However, if we ban them until anytime in the future we can revisit this, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, the other reason why I ask for a period of time is because that recreates the obligation on the borough's part, whether it's Sarah, whether it's council, whether it's planning board, and our professionals, to come back and ensure that we always get an answer. Just because it's 18 months doesn't mean that it won't be extended a longer time, but I really don't want to miss the opportunity for our folks, our professionals, to be able to give us good information to make those decisions. So that's just my reason why I gave it.
I understand, but remember, the number one issue with computers I've always been, and actually it's going to get worse, has been the heat distribution. Because what happens is people are forgetting, everybody wants faster processors, right? Remember back then you could blah, 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 but not faster processors, but nobody's thinking about how to cool them off. So now with quantum computing around the way, even that's going to be even worse than what we have now. So it's not that I'm against the 18 months. It's just the fact that in 18 months, nothing's going to be done. Again, when the time comes and they find a way to be able to cool off these GPUs and these CPUs, we can just, like to actually welcome them in town because it will help sustain AI, which is the future.
Hey, John, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for a moratorium on data centers that would affect both our zoning ordinance as well as our redevelopment plans in town.
The moratorium for what length of time?
My suggestion was 18 months.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Umer.
No.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Novak.
I don't believe 18 months is enough. Unfortunately, I'm very skeptical. Is it, it's just putting it off.
Well, it's.
Right now, if an application were to come in tomorrow, it'd be too late. I think we should do this ASAP, and I think it should be just done. And that way, at any time, we could change it. There's no reason to put a time limit on it. We could change it in a year if we wanted to. If something came up, that new technology or more information came out on it. But I think 18 months is not enough. I really think it should be a permanent ban. So I'm going to say no.
Rios.
So before I make a vote, I have a question, I guess, for the attorney. Would this affect the time of application rule? Meaning, if a developer submits an application tomorrow or within this 18 months, would that prevent them from moving forward?
It would prevent them from moving forward if they filed anywhere from the adoption of that ordinance until the end of the 18th month period, unless it's extended. That's the same if we did a total ban. The total ban wouldn't apply even if it was voted on today because it has to be adopted by ordinance. So it wouldn't be in place until that ordinance doing a total ban is adopted. Anytime before then, the time of application rule applies. And if they filed before that gets adopted, then they would be allowed to move forward with their application.
So we're still open.
We're open
that
until
rule.
that ordinance, one way or the other, gets adopted.
Because I just want to make clear that I'm not against technology, and this could be good, but the information that I have now, and to put them right next to a town of 47,000 people, I'm not for. So I mean, we got to move forward so we can nip this. So I vote yes.
Mayor, may I change my vote? Because I know this isn't going to, if we vote on this and it's a tie or anything, I'd rather have 18 months than nothing.
Wait a minute. It's getting confusing here.
I don't believe it's right, but it's better than nothing.
She's asking the vote is still on the table, so the councilwoman's asking to change her vote, so.
Is that all right?
Yes. it's
Councilman
legally-
Lamore, if you want to reconsider?
No, sir, because one of the things is everybody's talking about the noise. You can hear it 3 miles for an average of 3 miles, but that's an average. If you have this in Brooklyn, Staten Island, the noise is going to be there, but you're not going to hear it as much. However, in the suburbs, what happens here after 6 p.m.? Anybody knows? It's dead silence. So that 3 miles is going to have to transit to 6 miles. You're going to be hearing this thing that will drive you crazy. And people will be moving out of here. Okay, we're talking about raising temperature, ambient temperature of the area where you live. Our bills were skyrocketing, and I'm not exaggerating when it could be 200%. Why? Somebody asked me the other day a very important question. If the company is willing to pay their electrical bill, why will it affect us? I'll tell you why. Number one, the grid's not designed to handle data centers. So what happens? The utility companies, what do? They make the grid up to par, but it costs millions of dollars, right? So then what do you think happens? Are they going to say, oh, well, we're not going to? No, they're going to pass that bill on to us. Unless it's a total ban, I cannot go along with it. Thank you.
And the final vote?
Sinarski.
I am a yes vote, but I have a comment on it. I am pro-industry in Saraville. Saraville is declining so much that we just were in a meeting tonight, how much our taxes are going up and everything else. We need more ratables. We have a time limit on this for the 18 months. I am for that. And like John said, we can extend it if necessary, if we get to that point. But I am pro-industry. I need more ratables in this town. I think half the people that are complaining about these data centers would have never allowed DuPont's, Hercules, Satec, Essex Chemical, Insacoustics, any of the buildings to be factories in this town. We wouldn't be Saraville the way we are now without all of the industry that we had. And yes, I agree, some of the environmental problems that we have to deal with now and everything else, but there are so many families that made livings out of all of these towns. Fathers, husbands made livings in DuPonts and Hercules and everything else. Yes, there's problems with the grounds. Yes, there is. But now we're dealing with it. I understand that. But that's how this town was formed. Sarah Fisher's, all of these industries, National Lead.
Yeah,
So I am a yes vote.
but they create jobs, those industries you're talking about. The only people that are going to be in those data centers are going to be security guards, physical security guards, protecting the data of all these companies. So the jobs are temporary. During the building phase, yes, of course. But once that's stopped, that's it. For instance, those warehouses we got on Chiswick Road, they can turn them into data centers whenever they feel like it.
But the tax rate versus a vacant land is going to be higher. There's going to be more taxes coming into the borough.
Yes, but we can have other things on there, like a nice golf course, for instance. Okay, so again, tax rates are great, but you also have to understand to look at the benefit of people's health, and this noise will drive you crazy.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to make one comment. Far as I know, there is no warehousing in the community of Saraville that would be applicable for a data warehouse center.
Oh, no.
So let's be careful that we think that that's going to be converted.
Oh, no.
I don't want to bring any fear to anybody that's the next step.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm explaining how easy it is for you to convert anything into a data center.
Okay. What, the final vote, Jesse?
5-1.
Okay. Next order of business is executive session. No, we have executive session. We have one item.
I had a motion that we go into executive session just for a few minutes to clarify one of the things on the consent agenda.
Well, we have to specifically identify it, so it will be
Ah,
regarding
okay.
resolution, because we have to identify the justification.
What's the number?
It's the,
It's the very
resolution
last
26
one.
Yeah, 161
Yes.
is regarding pending litigation
Yes.
with the moat litigation. So that is the justification to go in exec.
You gonna read it, Jessica? Joe has it committed to memory.
I did it.
Oh, less than that. Yeah.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 5 minutes to discuss the following matters. Resolution 2026-161. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. And I need a motion.
Second.
Second.
Did you?
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor?
No, I gotta,
Roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Blumer,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Motion to go into open. Second, all in favor?
I gotta do-
Aye.
Roll call, sorry.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Blumer,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Okay, under old business, resolution received from the Saraville Planning Board following a meeting held on May 20th, 2026, finding the borough's affordable housing and development fee ordinance consistent with the borough's master plan. I just need a motion to receive and file that.
John,
Make motion to receive and file?
second. Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski, Blumer,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Okay, public hearing on ordinance number 8-26, an ordinance of the Borough of Saraville updating and amending the borough's affordable housing and development fee ordinances pursuant to the amended Fair Housing Act and the new UHAC regulations.
This time I'm going to open the public port. We do have the planner here if there are technical questions, but at this time, I'll open up the public portion for any questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there any questions or comments? There being no questions or comments, Council President, I'll
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
for a second. Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blumer.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Janorski. No appointments. No new business.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions and comments on the resolution. So if there are any questions or comments on the resolutions, please raise your hand. There being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, Mary.
Basically got the same question. Have we paid JCP&L yet?
Okay, I'll take a motion to close the public portion.
Wait,
Eloy wanted to.
I think there is.
No, Eloy.
Oh,
Eloy.
Eloy? Oh, no, wait a minute. Ladies first. Ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
Ladies first. Come on up.
Hello. You want my name and address, right?
Yes.
Judy Lorman, 146 Pulaski Avenue. I've lived in this town my entire life, 4 generations, and I want nothing but the best for this town. I just retired in December from Foley Caterpillar, and my job for the last 20 years is in the power systems division. My biggest clients were data centers. So I do have a lot of information regarding data centers.
Judy, this portion is only about the consent resolution.
Oh,
When we
I'm
do,
sorry.
when we do the public portion,
Oh,
I'll give you the high sign and
Okay.
you come up.
John, I'm blaming John.
Okay. Eloy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Council President Zabrowski, and Councilman and Councilwomen. Tonight, I want to thank the Borough Council for your cooperation and your partnership with the Board of Education as we come together to support this important joint resolution affecting the rising cost of healthcare. This is an issue that transcends the Board of Education, transcends the Borough Council. It ultimately affects all of our taxpayers. The relationship between the Borough and the Board of Education has always been a strong one, built on communication, collaboration, and a shared commitment to our community. Whether it's through shared services, joint initiatives, or community events, or advocacy efforts like this, we continue to demonstrate what can be accomplished when local governments work together. One of the things I truly appreciate is the open lines of communication between the Borough and the Board of Education. I always know, no matter what issue arises, I can pick up a phone and call, and the mayor and the council will always be there to answer in a positive and collaborative way to resolve whatever issue or collaborate towards a project. And I want to thank you for that deeply. Your level of cooperation and commitment is invaluable and speaks volumes to the leadership of this board. We've worked through so many important matters together over the years, and I know there are many more opportunities ahead in the near future to continue to strengthen our partnership for the benefit of the residents of Sayreville. I especially want to thank Mayor O'Brien and Council President Zabrowski for their strong leadership and continued collaboration with the Board of Education, not only on this important issue, but on so many matters that affect our school and our community as a whole. Your willingness to work together and collaborate is truly appreciated. As healthcare costs continue to place an increasing pressure on local budgets, school districts, municipalities, employees, and taxpayers. By standing together tonight, we are speaking with one unified voice. We are sending a clear message that the meaningful actions and reforms needed are at the state level. I'm proud to stand alongside each and every one of you this evening as we advocate for the residents of Sayreville and continued strong partnership between the board and the council. Thank you.
Eloy, thank you. Eloy and I, we're friends on many levels. So there was a new restaurant that opened up in Sayreville at the top of Ernston Road. It's called Latin Port, and they make all kinds of Latin dishes. So I called up the president of the Board of Education, whose family is from Cuba, and I said, let's have lunch. So we did, and I'm a rice and bean guy going way back. And we had a delightful lunch. And I just want to thank Eloy. By the way, I don't know whether it's the appropriate time, but let's just get it out there. The last half a year, I've had a lot of medical issues, and I was lying, I think, in the rehab, and my phone rang. And it was the fella who, a year or so prior, Glenn and I had gone to his ribbon cutting down on Lower Main Street across from Sabert. And he essentially had created a bus depot. And he had a client and they were renting it from him. And he called me to say that the client lost the contract and had no business. So I contacted Glenn. Glenn contacted Eloy. And Eloy, the rest of the story is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since we're still working out the details, I don't know how much we can say, but I just want to say that's a perfect example of the collaboration. I know the bus depot's taken a lot of attention recently, and everyone doesn't always see what happens behind the scenes. I always know that I can pick up a phone and it gets answered by everyone on this board, and especially you, Mr. Mayor. And your efforts on that have been, and Council President Zambrowski were integral in making this event be able to move forward as we get closer to the resolution. It's going to be a very positive impact on our community. It's an excellent location in so many ways. Sometimes things in life happen for a reason. Every other option that presented itself before would not nearly have been as positive as this one. So things have worked out, and that's a direct result of the collaboration between the board and the Borough Council.
You still haven't said what it is.
Yeah, Mayor, I don't think we can at this point.
Oh, we can?
Yes.
All right, oh.
We're still-
Really?
Yes, we're still working out the
Ah,
details.
okay. All right. Well, I spoke too soon, but I want to thank the president of the Board of Education for always being there. And as he and I share the same philosophy, they're our kids. And everything is about our kids. They're not his kids, they're not my kids, they're our kids. And we're here to do what's best for our kids together.
Absolutely.
And it's really great. Eloy, if I spoke too soon.
No.
Oh, we understand your excitement, okay?
What's that?
We understand your excitement here.
Well, I think it's really what happens when everybody works together.
Absolutely. It's
And
another great
that's-
example.
That
Mr.
can be a
Mayor,
great thing.
I'm sure you
My
have, you
apologies.
have a little Latin blood in you, by the way.
I do, except I can't salsa. Okay,
Maybe Albert can help you with that one.
all right, thanks.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Okay, are there any other questions?
I just wanted to say to Eloy, maybe we can work on some interlocal agreements too to save. We used to have interlocal agreements on landscaping and stuff like that. Maybe we can sit down and work on something like that to save us both money.
Would love to talk to you. I mean, there are certain shared services that we do now collaboratively, and we're always open to more. Absolutely. That's absolutely great. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Novak. Thank you. And thank you for all your support of our veterans. Councilman Sonarski, Councilman Khaleesi, and Council President Zambrowski. Your support of our veterans in light of Memorial Day, I thought should be noted. All of you have always been exceptionally supportive of our veterans, and I know personally your families have served and given so much to our country. So please, thank you.
Thank you, Eloy. Are there any other questions on the resolutions? Being no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Mayor, I'm going to close the public portion, but I am asking that Resolution 2026-136 be pulled for this evening. There is some noise ordinance issues related to this business license that I would ask that the police department further investigate before we make a final approval on this matter.
All right, are there any objections in pulling that for further review with the police department? There being no objections,
I think we should have a second and.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blumer.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Novak.
Yes.
I'm losing. Rios.
Yes.
Janorski.
Yes.
All right, now we need to,
Mayor, move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Your second? Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blumer.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Janorski.
Yes.
Motion to accept the correspondence.
Is listed.
Motion to accept.
Is there a second? Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski. Blumer.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Novak. Rios.
Yes, before I vote, I just had a question on the, on D3, the notice of virtual public hearing to be, for the Middlesex County Board of County Commissioners, for the inclusion of the Middlesex County Solid Waste Management. Specifically, I want to understand whether this increase in capacity will result in more daily truck traffic through our area, and what protections are in place to ensure that there are no negative impacts on residents. Any explanation that can be provided so I can better understand this?
I'll
try to get that.
Okay.
Yes.
Janorski.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Mayor and council reports, Administration and Finance, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes. As we all know, we failed to get a second on the budget last meeting, so we're still operating on a temporary budget. We did have a workshop tonight prior to this. There's no consensus on just that we would like to get it lower. We have given direction to both the business administrator and the CFO to go line by line and see what we can bring down. We had a few things that might help. Nothing that we're doing is going to help this drastically than it is now, but every penny counts. And I trust them to come back at the next meeting, maybe even before that. They can give me a call or I can call them and we can discuss anything that might help bring this down. We started at 25 and a half. We're all experiencing the same problem, was primarily healthcare. But they did bring it all the way down to 16 cents, 9 cents down with their hard work, and we're hoping to reduce it some more. And hopefully, maybe even at the next meeting, we'll be introducing a new, what we promised Danielle that we won't keep doing this. We're going to come to a resolution and take care of that. Also, there was some problems at the last meeting. There was a salary ordinance that I had some problems with. It wound up not passing. I know that this salary ordinance is necessary. I just was not happy with it in its state. I had asked some questions and like, did everybody start at the same amount? And I was told yes. And after working with payroll over the past couple of weeks on all of the different information, some people started at 65, some people started at 80, some people started at 72, some people started at 70. So the information that I had gotten was incorrect. But I would like to do, I'm going to touch base with the business administrator and make some time for me to come in, because this has to be written. It's just, I want to work with him so that we can get it done in proper format. A lot of things are just not making any sense to me. And, you know, they were people that received 2 contract raises in 1 year and other people that didn't. And it's very, very confusing. So, I mean, and at a time when we're in such a budget crunch, to have a lot of new, and they are basically new, manager positions added. I really want to nail down this salary referendum and get it taken care of, because it's something that has to be in place. It's something that we should have done back in 2023. It was not done, and unfortunately, we just compounded it by creating 3 more of these positions without a salary ordinance. So I will be working with Glenn. I know he's probably a little annoyed at me, but we're used to that, right, Glenn? We go back too many years. Okay, other than that, Mayor, progress.
Thank you. Public Safety, Councilman Blamur.
Thank you, Mayor. The Sayreville Police Department would like to highlight several important community initiatives and upcoming events taking place throughout our borough. First, the Sayreville Police Auxiliary has officially launched a new website. The auxiliary police continue to play an important role in supporting community events, traffic details, emergency operations, and public safety initiatives throughout Sayreville. We encourage residents to visit the new website, learn more about the organization, and consider volunteering to serve the community as a member of the auxiliary police. Their dedication and commitment to public service are greatly appreciated and continue to strengthen the partnership between the police department and our residents. Additionally, we would like to remind residents about significant changes involving electric bicycles, commonly known as e-bikes, which will take effect statewide beginning in July 2026. Under the new regulations, operators must be at least 15 years old and possess a valid driver's license, e-bike license, or permit. E-bikes will also be required to be registered through the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission and carry proper insurance coverage. Helmets will now be mandatory for all riders regardless of age. While licensing and registration are not yet available, the state has advised that the process will begin in July 2026. Riders can sign up on the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission website to receive email updates regarding the process beginning and how registration and licensing will work. We strongly encourage all residents to begin preparing now. Stay informed of the new requirements by visiting the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission website and continue riding responsibly to keep our roadways safe for everyone. Lastly, the police department is proud to once again partner with Sayreville Schools and the Governor's Council on Substance Use Disorder to host Camp Willoughby 2026 for students in grades 1 through 5. Camp Willoughby will take place from Monday, June 29th through Wednesday, July 1st at the Sayreville Police Headquarters. This program is designed to provide our youth with 3 days of positive engagement, education, and activities focused on healthy decision-making and living a substance-free lifestyle. Programs like Camp Willoughby are an important investment in our young people and reflect our continued commitment to community outreach, youth development, and prevention education. We encourage families to take advantage of this outstanding opportunity. The fire department would like everyone to know on August 1st, the department will be celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Morgan Hose and Chemical Company with a parade in the Morgan regular area, same route as the little parade on South Pine Avenue and Woodland Avenue. After the parade, we'll be gathering at Burks Park for food and beverages, yay, for the whole community for a small donation of $20 per person. Under 13 years of age will eat free. There will be shirts and challenge coins available for purchase to commemorate the occasion. And in the spirit of bipartisanship, I yield to Councilman Zubrowski to talk about the LoSAP.
Thank you so much. Sometimes we do bicker up here and sometimes we don't always agree. But I think there's one thing that we all always agree on is that we are forever in debt to our first responders. Yesterday, we all attended the memorial for the 4 firefighters that passed away since the last year, and it was a memorable event. But it also brings to mind that there's an issue of recruitment and retention that we need to address, because otherwise the numbers are going to continue to be depleted, and at some point we won't have those wonderful volunteers to turn to. So I'm going to ask collectively for our council to move forward with a public referendum to increase the LoSAP to a full LoSAP contribution, which would be put to vote to our citizens of Sayreville which would, if approved, would begin, I believe, next year, which would be budget year 2027. So again, having no impact of this year. We've talked about this before. It's only half a contribution right now, and I think that that's been in existence, Chief, for the last 30 plus years, or maybe 40 plus years. I'm not really sure. 1990s. So I think it's time, and I'm hoping that we have everybody's support to at least move forward with the referendum.
Second,
I have a question. Is this just for the firemen or is it for the first aiders too?
Be inclusive of how the current ordinance is. So Mary,
Okay.
if that's first,
Yeah, I just
then
would just-
absolutely, because you know how many calls they go through a year.
Used to write 1,000 a year.
Yep.
Till Yank went.
Need a motion, Jim?
I think we had a motion and a
Motion
second.
in a second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Blumer.
Absolutely.
Khaleesi.
absolutely.
Novak.
Twice. Yes.
Rios.
Yes, but I have a quick question, because I looked into this and it, I guess for the attorney, is a referendum required here?
It's required if we're going to increase, the borough is going to increase the contribution higher than what was originally approved by the original referendum. So that would be what would trigger a new referendum. If we're not going to increase higher than what was originally approved, then we wouldn't need a referendum. We can just do it by either ordinance or even resolution to be technically, depending on the way we're going to, the method of we're going to do it and how much.
Will this referendum just say we're going to exceed the old number, or will it say a specific amount?
It will say, it has to say another not to exceed amount.
Okay,
So we would basically set another cap that we can't, then the borough has the ability to work within.
I mean, my vote is yes, but if this is the right way, then of course, yeah.
Yeah, I can say, if there is a way that we don't need a referendum that can be done, I will advise. But I don't have those figures and everything in front of me, but it's something I will look into. And if it can be done without referendum. then
I don't
that
see
would
a
obviously be the
referendum
easiest way.
going, the other way, but yeah, go ahead.
Konarski.
Yes.
Mayor, may I say something on the
Go
same,
ahead.
kind of the same subject? I've been working with the Speaker's office, Craig Coughlin. He was unaware that auxiliary police are volunteers also. He thought they were on the order of special police that get paid. So I asked him, and he says he's going to work on including auxiliary police in with this, but it has to be done state first. We're only allowed to do it for firemen and first aiders right now. So we are working on that. Because we are having a hard time, although I really was very impressed that we did get some new auxiliary members. I saw that on the Facebook page.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anything else, Councilman Blumer?
That's it.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilman Rios.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and public. First, I'd like to recognize National Public Works Week, which runs from May 17th through May 23rd. I want to thank all of our public work employees for everything they do for our borough. A lot of their work happens behind the scenes, but it is extremely important and appreciated. I'd also like to mention that the Memorial Day Parade was a great success yesterday. Even with questionable weather, the skies clear up just enough for the parade to be completed. I want to thank everyone involved in organizing the event and all the residents who came out to support it. This year's Grand Marshal was Commander Dan Vardalis of Sayreville VFW Post 4699, who served in the U.S. Army for more than 2 decades. He spoke about the importance of remembering and honoring the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice protecting our country. After the parade, there were celebrations open to the public at both the VFW Post and the American Legion Hall. Actually, I was lucky enough to win a pair of tickets at one of the raffles. So hopefully I don't have to report that on my financial disclosure statement. Something else that was brought up to my attention involves CO alarms and emergency calls handled by engine number 1 and the rest of the engines. There have been a large number of calls, including some in the middle of the night, caused by bad batteries on detectors that have gone beyond their recommended lifespan. Many detectors have not had batteries changed in years, or the units themselves are expired. One resident suggested maybe adding reminder notices to the back of the water bills that go out 4 times a year, reminding residents to check their CO alarms and replace batteries or expire units when needed. I think it's a simple idea worth exploring, so we're not relying on our volunteer fire department to respond to avoidable maintenance-related calls. I was told that there's been a number of calls, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they go, in the house, and it's just the detector needs the batteries changed. So maybe we can do some sort of public safety and, educate the public. A lot of people come from, I was told that, they come from the city and they have somebody that takes care of that. All of a sudden they have a house. They don't even know that they have a detector. So maybe just reminding the public, and that's going to relieve the volunteer fire department from going out to houses just to change batteries. Finally, this Saturday, we officially kick up our summer concert series with a great Michael Jackson tribute band. We invite everyone to come out and enjoy the night. There will be music, lights, food vendors, and a great atmosphere for families and residents to enjoy. That's this Saturday, 6 o'clock, Kennedy Park. Hope to see you all there. And following up on that, I just wanted to follow up with Glenn and John. I know we were communicating about the streamlining the processes for vendors. I just want to know where that stands. I know I was provided, I don't know if you saw my email, with not some factual discrepancy. But I just want to make myself clear that I'm not suggesting we reduce or eliminate necessary protocols. I just want to be fair to our vendors, because at the end of the day, being fair to our vendors also benefits our residents. So it helps keep our community events strong and accessible. And I just want to streamline the process so we have more of opportunities to have good food vendors and not make it hard for vendors to be a part of our events. So with that, I think that's all. Thank you.
Hey, Councilman Rios, a little housekeeping. Who is assigned to cultural arts? Is it you or is it Councilman Khaleesi? I always thought it was Councilman Khaleesi, and he would give the reports on cultural arts.
This is not a report. This is just
I understand it, but he's your colleague sitting right next to you, and if it's his committee, let him give the report. That would be my opinion. You are certainly free to do what you want to do, but it's a little rude to your council partner right there.
a little what?
Rude,
Rude?
rude.
I'm not doing a report, though. I don't know. And that's not my committee.
Okay, that's,
I'm just giving a
I'm
shout out.
giving you
I'm
my
very excited
opinion.
about the upcoming events, and I'm just trying to like promote
and
them.
as far as vendors go, we have a list of vendors that pay by the year.
Uh-huh.
That are free for they service everything that goes on. If you have an individual vendor that only wants to do one thing at a time, that is certainly their prerogative. But we're not going to change what we do for the food trucks.
Not asking for change.
Okay, the other thing is, we're particularly not going to reduce fees or eliminate fees when we have brick and mortar people in that business that that contribute a great deal of money and employment to the people and the kids of Sayreville. It's the local
Well, like I stated, I don't
food
want
company.
anything changed. I just want to be fair and, comparable to other events and other.
Sayreville has always been more than fair.
Okay, just wanted to make
And
sure
then,
that we stay
just
there.
Professionally, you should defer to your colleague sitting next to you when it comes to his committee reports. That's my opinion, but you're free to do what you want to do.
Sure.
Okay, that being said, is there anything else, Councilman Rios?
That was it.
Okay, Councilman Khaleesi, Recreation.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Office of Aging in recognition of May being declared Older Americans Month, and we're almost done in May. So the Office of Aging is proud to celebrate our senior community with our annual Senior Day celebration, which we all attended. It was a wonderful event filled with live entertainment, dancing, lunch, and countless door prizes, bringing together so many members of our community for a fun and memorable day. So, Council President Zabrowski, Councilman Sinarski, myself, we were honored serving our seniors personally. Also in attendance, being served was Councilman Rios, Councilman Blimore, and Councilperson Novak. So on Friday, May 22nd, the county also hosted its annual 90s Birthday Bash, honoring residents that are age 90 and over with a special luncheon celebration. So the same day we offered at the senior center or the, what do they call that? The Active Adult Center. They also hosted its annual 90s Birthday Bash honoring residents age 90 and over with the special luncheon celebration. So that's that they offered a Move to Get Fit program to encourage our seniors to stay active and healthy. So in addition, early voting will be taking place at the Active Adult Center in that banquet hall throughout this coming week now. So that'll be going on this next 10 days. Looking ahead to June, we have several informative programs and activities scheduled, including an acupuncture seminar on June 3rd, a cataract awareness seminar hosted by Robert Wood Johnson on June 8th, and a hearing seminar on June 10th. And there's also a bus trip to the PNC Arts Center on June 11th. So I don't know what's happening there. But the Active Adult Center is also hosting a Wills and Estate Seminar on June 15th. As always, the Office of Aging remains committed to providing educational programs, wellness opportunities, and social events that support and enrich the lives of our senior residents. So we're looking forward to another exciting community event with our Cruising at Kennedy Park Classic Car Show taking place tomorrow from 6 to 9. We invite residents to join us for trivia night on Thursday and from 6 to 8 at the Mickey Sedlak Building. That promises to be a fun evening for the whole family, and pre-registration is required to attend. And you can do that pre-registration on the Recreation's website. In addition, our farmers market continues each Thursday, don't forget, and remains a great opportunity for residents to shop local and support our community vendors. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Water, Sewer, Environmental, Councilman Zanarski.
Thank you, Mayor. It's pretty standard in water this month. We're around the average 140-some million gallons this month. What I'm still working on, which I've not finalized yet, I do want to clean Duhernal up, and it's going to happen this summer. I'm going to gather with the Boy Scout leaders, and I'm going to, whoever else wants to volunteer, we'll supply some bags and some lunch for everybody that volunteers, and we're going to clean up around the Duhernal Dam and make the place look a little prettier. The farmers market's stepping along pretty good. There's around 40 plots. There might have been a couple left. If somebody needs something, they can get in touch with me or Anton or somebody. We can get them set up. Other than that, progress, Mayor, we're doing fine.
Planning and Zoning, Council President Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just two quick items. At the last Sarah meeting, Sarah passed a resolution requesting that the Middlesex County Department of Transportation conduct a review of their current Main Street widening program. Currently, the widening goes up to the Kaplan development, and then it goes back in almost like an hourglass before it goes back into the Main Street extension. It seems counterintuitive at this point that you would extend it so far, but not all the way to the Main Street extension. And our attorney pointed out that there were some reasons for that, recent litigation and what have you. At the end of the day, it would serve for at least some relief for congestion going out of Sayreville, particularly in the mornings. So I'm asking if it's okay if Jay could work with the plant, with our engineer from Sarah to collectively on moving forward with requesting from the Middlesex County DOT, if that's acceptable. I don't know if you need a resolution or that's okay.
No, you would need a
Okay.
resolution.
And then finally, the last item I have is, as you know, yesterday was Memorial Day, and the week before was actually graduation at West Point. And we have one of our actually former council people that was a West Point graduate, and that's Lieutenant Colonel Stanley Droll, former councilman. And last week, he celebrated his 50th graduation for West Point. And I just want to congratulate him, and I think we all would do the same. That is a wonderful one thing to be able to do, to say you're a graduate of West Point, and we appreciate his long and distinguished career in the services as well. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Council President.
I have one more thing, Merritt. If,
Go ahead.
just to be reference to Jay, if you're going to be talking to the engineers or whatever about Main Street extension and the light, I'd like to bring up Crosman Road on the record, that Crosman Road traffic light, if it worked the same as the one by Dunkin' Donuts and Raritan Street, the traffic on Main Street in the morning would be alleviated. I've already sat in Quick Check parking lot in the morning. There are no cars coming out of Crosman Road, north or south, but you're backing up the traffic on Main Street all the way up to Sunglow Bakery. The light works on a timer. If it was flow proportionate or set at a different time where it can work better, and I've been bringing this up and everything else, but now it's on record. Let's see if we can get this light the same way the Raritan Street light works.
Mayor, the county actually has a project that's under construction to replace that traffic signal and upgrade it. So that is in the works.
I know that I had conversed with the county on that, but do you think you could get them to look at Sayreville Boulevard too? It just seems to stay red, remains much longer. I mean, a car will come out and 18 seconds later, the light will finally change for one car. I think that needs to be, looked at again. I don't think it has been since it was installed. And I know it has to be installed for a while before they will go and look. And I think we've reached that now. We discussed that once before, right, Stan? That light too? That was a problem? The Sayreville Boulevard light? Back in 24. Yeah. No.
Okay. I'm nowhere with the Crosman light. That's my main problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two lights.
All right, my report, last meeting, there was really some misunderstanding about the budget and who votes on the budget. I've sat up here a long time and I've had this come my way before, but I asked the attorney to give an official legal report on who votes on the budget, who doesn't vote on the budget, and some of the legal ramifications if we don't get the budget passed. Counselor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, for under the borough form of government, which is the government here in Sayreville, the council adopts the budget. The mayor does not vote on the budget, not even to break a tie. The budget is adopted by the council and it requires 2/3 of the entire governing body, which means a minimum of 4 votes to adopt the budget. The budget under the new, most recently amended law, amendments to the local budget law is supposed to be adopted by April 30th or the next regularly scheduled council meeting thereafter. Historically, the Division of Local Government Services gives municipalities time beyond that. They don't start, any really enforcements right away, understanding that budgets can be difficult and time consuming. For any budget adopted after April 30th, it does require that it gets sent to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services prior to approval. They have to certify it, he or she has to certify it. When they certify it, then the governing body may adopt the budget within 10 days after receiving certification from the director. That being said, also at any point after April 30th, like I said, historically, the director and the Division of Local Government Services doesn't look to enforcement right away, but at some point they can issue an order. They have, under the budget law, he has the ability to issue an order requiring a municipality to adopt a budget by a date certain. If they don't do so, then they can be subject to fines. The fines can be either levied against the borough as a governing body or individual governing body members, however the director sees it, and whether there are certain governing body members that he sees are causing the issue of not adopting the budget. It's very subjective. It's all going to be depending on his department's investigation. But those fines can have increased since the recent amendment and can be up to $100 a day. But like we're not in Sayreville, we're not at that point. At least I'm not aware of any order issued by the division or any pressure being given by the division at this point. But it's just something to keep in mind, because at some point that will happen. The division will get involved. Usually it will be informal at first, then it will be an official order. And if the borough can't comply with the order, then there can be fines that can be imposed.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. And with that, we'll go to agenda items.
Okay, application for a social affair permit received from Morgan Hose and Chemical Company to serve beer and wine at their 100th anniversary celebration on August 1st from 12 to 6 at Brooks Park.
Any objections? Next item.
Coin toss received from SBC River Dogs, 12U Gray on June 13th and 14th.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a contract to Magic Touch Construction Company for holding cell maintenance and improvements in an amount not to exceed $226,394.52.
Any objection? Next item.
Memorializing an emergency purchase of a replacement UPS for the Raritan Avenue radio tower from SHI International Corp. In an amount not to exceed $21,341.21.
Any objection? Next item.
Application for membership as a firefighter received from Oscar Kozakowski, accepted by Engine Company at their May 8th, 2026 meeting.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to increase the contract rate for GK Landscaping to $103,166.44 in accordance with NJSA 4811-15.
Any objection?
I just have a question. Is there a specific reason why there's an increase in this?
When we extend their contract, for the additional year under local public contract law, you can increase it up to an indexed amount. And that is within the index.
In other words, we're rolling over basically their old contract, but with a higher rate.
Yeah. Mhm.
Everything else remains the same.
Yep.
And they were the only ones that bid. Am I correct?
No, there was multiple vendors that when we did bid it. But this contract was, I think another company bought them out. Mhm.
Next item.
Authorization to award a contract to LBJ Interior Solutions to repair and replace flooring in the Department of Public Works and Senior Center in an amount not to exceed $47,333.05.
Any objections? Next item.
Authorization to purchase a sweeper from MTE Equipment Solutions in an amount not to exceed $51,923.20.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to EMR Power Systems of Trenton for generator maintenance in an amount not to exceed $35,379.87.
Any objections? Next item.
So
Request,
people are aware, these are all things that were on last year's budget, correct?
The capital, yes, and I think one of them, the sweeper, is being paid for with grants. The EMR Power Systems is a renewal.
Next item.
request received from Majid Sadar to have all fees waived for their prayer service tomorrow.
When?
And at this point, I don't even know where they're hosting this prayer service.
Kennedy Park.
We haven't received everything. We have no insurance. We did, but we didn't issue the permit until they supply everything. And they have not supplied every insurance to us as of this after.
So there are two things. One, about waiving the fees. Is there any precedent for a religious service to have the fees waived?
So the prayer service in Kennedy Park, they have always paid to rent Kennedy Park. They pay $1,000 to rent Kennedy Park. Any other
What-
fees?
What does that cover usually? That usually covers the DPW guys.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't exactly know what it
I would doubt if
entails.
it covers the police, but
I do know that Recreation did state to me that we do not waive any fees for any Board of Education. That the PTOs who host picnics at Burks Park. The only thing that we have waived so far for religious organizations here, like St. Stan's, their special event fee and like the use of our stages.
Okay.
But everything is held on their property. Nothing is really held on our property for those other religious organizations.
so the first thing is to deal with waiving the fees for the prayer service. Is there a motion to waive the fees?
That would also include the $1,000 that they're usually.
I have no problem with waiving the fees, but I have a problem with, I mean, it's tomorrow and they don't even have a permit. So I don't know how we waive fees on something that isn't even permitted right now.
And we did send an email out to Shamir this morning, just confirming, trying to see where it's being held, because we were hearing things that it was going to be held at the school. So he never responded back to us. And I know Brian has had countless emails with him, asking for the information.
All right, so the past practice is we don't waive fees. Again, it's a separation of church and state. We don't waive fees. So let's take a vote on waiving the fee. If someone would make a motion on this, is there, Counselor, if you would state the motion, and then I'll ask for, you would state what the motion is.
Yes, Mayor, just to clarify, their request is to waive all the fees, including what they've paid in the past, the 1,000. So the motion would be for whether or not the council will, or whether the council agrees to waive all fees in connection with their prayer service to be held on May 27th at whatever location the final application is for. Typically, it has been at Kennedy Park, but if it is at another location, there may be different fees that are applicable. But at this time, all we can do is waive the fees that would be applicable. We don't know what they final.
Yeah, the other location they're looking at is a Board of Education property.
Okay, does anyone want to make this motion?
I'll make the motion. Now, the other property, that's not under our control, so that would not apply, would it? Right.
That's not under our control. But like I said, I had, one of our parks guys, I think said that they were hearing that they were hosting it at the Board of Education at the high school. So that's why we sent an email this morning to verify. But again, Brian still doesn't have all the insurance for the vendors also, because they do have blow up rides, I believe there.
Yeah,
No, I
because,
just asked the counselor, do we even, since nobody knows really what's going on and they have not responded to us, do we even need to engage in this thing or just?
I mean, the motion would be very speculative because we don't know what that really would be. So, I mean, unless there's a strong feeling from the council to move forward with waiving whatever those may be, it would be my recommendation not to, because we don't know what we're actually waiving at this point.
What do you think, Councilman?
I understand. No, if it's the Board of Ed's property, it has nothing to do with us, so.
You
No,
want
they have to
to,
apply separately.
They have
for
to
them.
apply
That's why
separate.
We were trying to
right, so
figure
the
out
fees,
where.
I understand, because the last I heard was it was going to be held at Kennedy Park.
Yeah, and they usually give us, all the insurance and all that. And then I don't know if they were expecting everything to be waived, but those insurance requirements wouldn't be waived.
I understand.
all right, so.
Excuse me one second.
You-
What are the hours from this event tomorrow?
7 a.m. to 2.
Oh, because the car show is supposed to be at night.
Yeah, now this is 7 a.m. to 2
Okay.
p.m.
All right, thank you.
So do you wish to remove the motion?
Yes, sir. Being that I don't know where it's going to be held.
Okay, it's just logical since we don't really know what's going on. Okay, does anybody, we'll just not take action on this? Is that the course of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is under the agenda item, portion of the agenda. So it's whether or not the council wants to move forward with this to be on either approve it and put a resolution on for the next.
We did do a resolution approving the special event pending that we don't release the special event permit until they do A, B, C,
Okay.
and D. So nothing has been released to them. That resolution we did pass. I don't know.
So then just no action needs to be taken at this time.
Okay.
And then if it comes up at the following meeting, we can deal with it at that point.
Okay. Then I'll go to the business administrator's report.
I only have one item, Mayor, and it's an update on the first town hall project. About a week ago, I met with our borough engineer and our borough architect. And the assessment of whether we can continue with the project has been completed. Structurally, we're in a good place. The things that were proposed in the original schematic will fit and will work under the prevailing circumstances. So what I need from the council tonight is authorization to have both the borough engineer and the architect prepare proposals. For the architectural aspect, it would be USA Architects. And then for site, civil, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structure, that would be through our borough engineer's office at CME. They would prepare these proposals and bring them back to the council for consideration so we could take the next steps moving forward with the project.
Hey, is there any objection to this? Is there any objection to this? Being no objection, move forward.
Just asked a question.
I didn't hear you, Mary.
I did not, we're just looking at this moment for proposals.
Yeah,
So
but-
not a dime will be spent until those proposals are reviewed by the council, at which time
Okay,
you'll
so
have
they're
the
not
opportunity
charging
to
us
do
to
that.
do the.
No, this would
proposal.
just be a proposal.
Okay, that's.
Okay. Are there any objections? This moving forward? Okay. Next item, Glenn.
That's all I had.
Okay. CFO's report?
Thank you, Mayor. Progress.
Okay. Borough engineers report?
Thank you, Mayor. Two items. The first is the Golden Age Development, which is on Gondek Drive. They previously posted a bond to guarantee the completion of the streetlights. That work's been completed, so recommending a resolution releasing that bond. Second item is the annual well maintenance and redevelopment project. You're receiving bids before your next meeting, so if everything's in order, like a resolution awarding the contract at your June meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough attorney's report?
Nothing further, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to open up the public portion for questions or comments on any and all issues. There's a 5-minute limit. No, she left?
She's there.
Yes. Okay.
My name is Giselle Schiavone of
Okay.
One Ridge.
I can't hear you.
My name is Giselle Schiavone from One Ridge. I
Okay.
just want to reiterate what you said. There's nothing that you can find out in 18 months. Nothing. And I'd like to put it on the board that you should not vote on this. Again, in the future, things might change, but you should take data centers out of Sayreville at least for the next 5 years, minimum, until things change. 18 months is a blink of an eye. You wouldn't know anything. Construction wouldn't even be finished in 18 months. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'll get you, Ken. Okay, the lady in the corner?
Yeah, no, right in there.
Oh, yeah, we know from last meeting. Go ahead.
Judy Larman, 146 Pulaski Avenue. Sorry, I got up here prematurely.
Could you pick the,
Sure. Can you
There
hear
you
me
go.
better now?
yes,
Okay. So I've been looking at a lot of social media, and I did look at the last council meeting regarding data centers. I just retired in December from a Caterpillar dealership, and my job was a product support rep for all standby generators, which I was surprised that nobody brought that up in the discussions about data centers. So data centers, it's true, they're going to use a lot of power. And from what I'm being told, because I've been looking into some of my electrical contractors that I, used to work with, and my data center folks that I dealt with before I retired, just to get some, updated information. I can tell you that in the components of a data center, my portion was the power infrastructure. So that's the backup gens, the uninterrupted power systems, which is the UPS, which are batteries that keep these data centers running until if they lose utility power, which they cannot lose power because they lose data, it's running through there like so fast. It's a big deal. And they are very, very diligent in their upkeep of their facilities. So some of the comments I heard were buzzing, roaring, will never be able to stand the noise pollution. That is, I've been through very large data centers. You had mentioned Bloomberg. That's one of my customers, was one of my customers. I've been in their data center in Totowa before it was even commissioned. I had the data center down in Dayton. I had for all of Verizon in Branchburg, and I've been through these data centers. I've done tons of projects with the data centers. There is no buzzing or humming in a data center from the servers. I've walked through them many times. What I'm thinking is that people are misunderstanding humming, roaring is the backup generators. So with that being said, the state of New Jersey is probably one of the strictest states when it comes to all of this. I had to provide a lot of information to the customers when they're building data centers, and every 3 years they have to, get new permits. Those enclosures that they're in are sound attenuated, and they do measurements on how much noise they put out. Everything has to be documented. They have to keep very, very strict logs on fuel management. I mean, I don't want to go down a big rabbit hole, but what I can tell you is I reached out to one of the electrical contractors who right now is working with Amazon right outside of Trenton. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with that project, but it's a big project. These data centers are going to happen whether Sayreville allows it or another town allows it. They are willing, and they do. I said, how can councils make, informative decisions on these data centers if they don't have enough information? I may be able to get Alan Brightway. He apparently has a division in his company that is going to offer some tours. The data centers that are in place right now, the security is so high. I know everyone here has driven past the data center. You just don't know it. They're not marked. The security you have to go through Brahms sniffing dogs in some of them. I mean, it's tight. So I would never probably be able to arrange that, but I might be able to arrange for some tours or even just some information that could help to make a better decision. I'm not saying that I'm for or against a data center in Sayreville. One thing I would say is that as a taxpayer and a resident, I wouldn't want to see them get like a pilot program, because these are billion-dollar companies that do get funded through their investors on Wall Street. They have tons of money. I think it would be a good flex for them to bring power to the data center and enhance our power grid. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. They might say sayonara and we're going to go somewhere else. But that's just some of my thoughts. But I can tell you that I can see that most of these people do not understand what data center is and how they operate. So
I'd like to answer that. May I? Okay, my qualifications since 1999, A+, MCSE 4, MCSE 5, MCDBA. I've been doing this for 29 years now.
right. I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm listening.
Microsoft Certified System Engineer.
Okay.
And now I'm doing Oracle Fusion. When you say there are no noise coming out of the servers, that is not entirely true. If you've ever, what happened is this, ever since Y2K, 9/11, what happens, for instance, I work for Downstate Hospital in Brooklyn. Downstate Hospital in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Our back, what it is that you had this since 9/11 when people were losing data, and of course they were able to bring it back right up, because that was part of a data center that they were able to. They lost a few not as much information as they would have if it didn't have external backup. There's a big one on Staten Island. That's where I go. When you say security is tight, you're not kidding. Because you have to have a week in advance, driver's license, dogs, and so on and so forth. Yes. However, I have half a solution for the power-hungry data centers. What these companies can do, half a solution. What they can do is then they can give us all solar power, and then they can use whatever they want. But then, okay, no, but you're asking, okay, but you still have an issue. The issue of heat. Like I said before, everybody's trying to get faster processors, but then they're not coming up with solution to keep the heat down. So, and if you cannot keep the heat down, what do you have to do? You have to raise the power to be able to get all these things to cool. And then again, with quantum computing coming on board, that's 1,000 times worse. Yes, they do hum. I don't know about, or the other terminologies, but they do hum. Yes, they do. And this is not me saying that. You can look it up. If you were to Google something right now about data center, they'll tell you 3 miles. You can hear it from 3 miles, like I said before. Here, everything.
Servers?
Servers, yes. It's not just one server. Remember, we're talking about thousands of them.
Right. I've walked through,
Okay.
Verizon has rooms and rooms of
Yes,
servers.
but I worked there for days, okay?
Also,
Setting them up and so on.
the humming is also the cooling fans.
Yes,
not
that is
just the
correct.
servers.
It's not just, well, the cooling fans, they are also in the servers as well. They're cooling the CPUs and the GPUs. And of course, like you said, the cooling fans, the system to actually extracts the heat and dissipate it. That's where the noise is coming from as well. So yes, they do make noise and they will drive you nuts. If you live in the city, it's a lot less. But if you live here, it's crazy. Okay, like I said, I can solve their issue in terms of power hungry because they can incentivize us all to get a solar panel. That's great. But then what do you do about the noise, the water usage? To cool, and then like you said, the backup generators, right? If they use generators, so now we're talking about gasoline and all that other stuff, okay?
Other diesel.
Diesel, yeah. So then that's going to spew even more chemicals in the air. So yes,
Not true.
Well,
We'll agree to disagree because I can tell you that the EPA is so regulated on fuel and emissions, and I have provided tons of spec sheets only from Caterpillar, because that's the
I
OEM I
understand.
work for. But
the backups I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the
Right.
main one. The main one, they use the grid. And of course, and the other solution they can have is that if the power company says, okay, that we'll upgrade, our grid will be up to par, except these companies will pay for it. Us, the taxpayers in town will not have to, because they will pass the cost on to us.
Well, I just think that right now, everyone should get more educated on them because I'm sorry, I disagree with a lot of what you're saying.
Okay, that's
And-
fine,
right,
which is
and-
fine. But
and-
what edge, unless you can come up with something that says
Well, there's
our
many people
CPUs
here
don't
that-
need that much heat.
Right.
Then we can talk. Until then, you are creating more powerful CPUs, quantum computing, everybody knows about that requires more energy, more heat. So how in 18 months you'll be able to have something, unless again, like I said, there's something going on that we don't know about. Because
Okay,
right now,
I can't speak to cooling systems. That wasn't my forte. Mine was the standby power, which was a big important part
well,
of it.
the power,
Right.
in order to cool it, you need power in order to keep everything cool.
All right, we're gonna move,
All right,
we're gonna
thank
move
you.
forward.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, young lady.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Sue Makaitis from Food and Water Watch. I'm a volunteer. I just want to thank the Mayor and Council for approving the New Jersey Make Polluters Pay to Make New Jersey More Affordable Act. I congratulate you on that. We're working hard to get that passed through the state legislature. And with your support, that will go a long way in helping us do that. So thank you. That's it.
You're welcome. Ken?
Thank you, Mayor Ken Olszewski, Saraville. I'm not going to debate data centers because quite frankly, I only talk about things that I know a lot about. I do know data center is a broad general term. I follow the issue very closely. I own Amazon, I own Google, I own Meta, I own Microsoft. So I follow the issue closely, and there's a lot of debate about citing them all over. But one most recently that I'm familiar with, because I passed it pretty much every time I've gone to the Poconos, is Western New Jersey. To the town was just across the border in Pennsylvania. A lot of blowback out of it. But what I want to turn this to is I agree with Councilman Blemmer and whoever, this young lady here that said 18 months is just comes and goes. That's kind of a joke to me. But I think we need to talk about a level of trust. And I saw that last meeting. I don't normally watch them on tape, but I saw it. And Mayor, you're lecturing Rios. Let me tell you, I don't think you did a very good job of dealing with Councilman Blemmer here. I think you were quite demeaning to him. And I think that's the problem with this governing body. My comments are not from Seattle. They're not from Chicago. They're not from Atlanta. And they're not from Dallas. They're from sitting here in the audience. And I want to tell you why there's a problem with trust here. I want to go to the meeting where you approved the pilot for the Cheesequake mega warehouses, and see what people really think about that. Now, Glenn, our business administrator, he did a very good job of impersonating the little Jack Horner. Remember Jack Horner? He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum. Glenn beat that. He pulled out his drawer and he came up with an application for a pilot for the data set for the mega warehouses that cost the borough over $100 million over 30 years. Yeah, he pulled out of his drawer. The problem was it was overdue by years. I've talked to attorneys and they say the application should be in before ground is broken. And you know what? The warehouses were up. Councilman Zabrowski here, he did an impersonation of John Kerry. With John Kerry, you remember his famous deal that, I voted for it before I voted against it? Well, Councilman Zabrowski, he reversed that around. He voted against it before he voted for it. And when he voted for it, it just happened to be after he'd been reelected. So that's the kind of stuff we're getting. Councilman Sonarski here. I remember him talking about, we have to give a pilot. We've got to give a pilot to the storage facility on Highway 35 because they're next to a cul-de-sac. Did anyone see that storage facility? What is the ground use there? Is it a 99.99% that they've occupied there? We gave them a pilot? You got to be joking. And then you talk about the taxpayers? And I think that's the problem. This governing body and some people on it, they have no credibility. Remember what happened next door on the firehouse? And the mayor campaigned against it. Councilman Sonarski, he couldn't see spending the money. They got no problems blowing the money to the people with the money. All the developers, they got no problem saying, I. So I think they talk out of both sides of their mouth. Yeah, I agree. We need more ratables, Councilman, but we don't need ratables that are going to go after our families and our quality of life and living in Saraville. And that's where I think you're going wrong. And that's where too many of these people are talking out of both sides of your mouth. And you know what? People have caught up to it. They see it. They saw it on the referendum here. They see it on everything else. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that have happened and how people are talking out of both sides of their mouth up here. Thank you.
Can I address Ken for 1 second? Ken, stick around for 1 second.
Sure.
I talked to all of the residents in Morgan. I can take you to 25 different residents that live between Wayne Speed and Sport, all the way up to the Monahan House, and they thank me every time for, I know we gave them a pilot and everything else, but every resident in every house there sleeps normal now because they are not up to 3 o'clock in the morning when those Brothers 3 and the Abyss and all these other places were living there. They love it now. And
I have
yes,
no
it,
problem with that.
yes,
I
it,
think
yes,
you're
it cost us,
100% right.
yes, I voted for a
I have
pilot
no
for it.
problem- What I have a problem
But
with.
I'm more
but
concerned
you
with the
pilot.
residents of Saraville's living than a pilot for
You-
them.
You're giving people I'm not against pilots for something that you can't develop. That owner came here and talked about, how he couldn't sell his property, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, when I make a mistake in the market and buy something, I've made plenty of them over the years.
Do
And
you-
you know who bails me out? Nobody bails
Do
me
you-
out. I suck it up. And you want to bail people out. That's the problem with
Do you think I'm paying for police overtime now every night of when those clubs were open the way they used to be? We're saving thousands of dollars spending overtime for the police.
That's great, but my issue is not that, it's with giving them
The
a
only,
pilot.
wait a minute, the only issue I had with that public storage place being there was I was more concerned with the Morgan First Aid as far as losing their property and parking and everything else. And they accommodated us. They put a gate there. They got special parking for us. So I'm fine with this one. I really am.
What's the lot coverage on that? Councilman Zabrowski, this must have come before Sarah. What's the lot coverage? 99.99%?
Well, actually, it came before Sarah, before I was on Sarah.
Oh, it did. Oh, I'm sorry. Then
Perhaps-
I
No,
can't
but
blame you.
but there were other council people that were on Sarah at the time, so perhaps you may want to ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
or don't you want to know?
I don't have enough time.
Or don't you want to know?
Pardon?
Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Is the question. If you're asking the question, you're asking it to me, but I wasn't on Sarah at the time, but there were other council people that were. If you're asking the question, do you still want to know the answer or not? Perhaps someone has that answer for you.
Well, if they do, I'm willing to listen to it.
Mary, I don't know, were you on the council? Were you on Sarah at that time?
Yes, I was.
Do you know what the lot coverage was?
I don't know the exact lot coverage, but I know it was quite extensive.
When you ride by there, it's amazing the lot coverage on that, from what I see. My eyes are still pretty good, even though, as the mayor would say, the old people, dopey people with no lives, they come to the meetings. Thank you.
Makes the point. Is there anyone else? Bob?
Okay, Bob Egan, Elizabeth Street. Well, you failed to mention, we want ratables for sure. And you said people wouldn't have had Hercules or whatever. You got to remember, when National Ed, DuPont's and Hercules, and even Sarah and Fisher were here, it employed this town. It employed South Amboy and South River. You're not going to employ Saraville, South Amboy, and South River with people in those data centers. Totally different. And I'm a pessimist. I believe that somebody went to lunch already on this. But I can't see why they have to burn up water and that. Train would be thrilled, I think, to put chiller plants on these facilities. Plus, instead of boosting up our electric bills, which they say that happens everywhere, tell them they got to put in gas turbine electric. GE would be love to lease it to them, I'm sure. And I have one question. Why are high voltage poles going down Minnesink Avenue right now? Do you have any idea?
Yes, about 18 months ago, Jersey Central came to us and told us that they were going to put in a new line to their grid that would triple the capacity of the current line. It will bisect the Hercules property. It's not for that. It's going to points north, and they needed to upgrade their utility poles to
Okay,
handle the new.
I thought possibly something was already in the works with
No, you'd be incorrect.
supplying that.
You're incorrect.
Okay. And thank you for bringing John here for a proclamation. Great guy. Gonna miss him for sure, and everybody else is too. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Being no one else, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Is there a second? Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Before I go for adjournment, I just wanted to say something. A number of years ago, I was at the DuPont plant And I was with the plant manager, and in our conversation, I said, I understand that you have some openings on the shop floor, at which it was a very good paying job at the time. And he said, yes, we do. I said, boy, it would be really great if you got in a couple thousand more of those jobs. And this is what he told me. He said, DuPont out of Delaware, out of corporate headquarters, had said they would never invest another manufacturing job in New Jersey. A couple of months ago, Hercules, after 125 years, closed their facility. National Lead closed their facility. Sayre and Fisher Brick closed their facility. There's a transition happening. But I always estimate in every 100 years, a town gets to reinvent themselves, and that which is old and no longer fits the mold is replaced, which is current for however long it remains current. And I've felt for many a year that that's the phase that Sayreville's going through. Manufacturing in New Jersey is a lot less than when I was a boy. When I was a boy, there was automotive, there was a Ford plant in Edison, there was a GM plant in Linden, there was all kinds of manufacturing. They're not there anymore. I don't know why, but they're not there anymore. So we of the governing body have the duty to help guide and reinvent the town. I couldn't tell you if it's data centers. I've asked the Environmental Commission to take a very hard look at it. I was with hundreds of people the other night, both electricians and people that have had things to do with data centers, and they give a positive report. I understand why. All that being said, I think we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to the rest of the people. And as Eloy and I have had conversations, every school in Sayreville is at least 60 years old. All right. And at some point, they're going to need to be repaired or replaced. And you have to say to yourself, you can't always put this tax burden on the back of the homeowner. There comes a strangulation point. So this whole thing about pilots and the town loses no money on a pilot program. It actually gets more money. It just works out more to our advantage. But I've had conversations with Eloy, as has John and Mike. And our thing is, they're all our kids. So we may bring in more money on the pilot side, but the kids need a school. They need it replaced or repaired or refurbished. The money has to come from someplace. We're working together, and what we're trying to do is bring in a new Sayreville that is profitable and does not choke the homeowner. And that's what everybody forgets. Taxes are going up this year, both because the cost of medical insurance has just skyrocketed, and medical insurance is contractual. It's not an option. It's in the contract. And between the schools and the borough, it's going to be a large increase. That being said, you can't get a grant to subsidize operational costs for a borough. They don't exist, nor would they give it to you. So we have to find new ways of revenue. And these data centers came up. They're in the news. They're wildly expensive. And the question is, would you rather have something that pays you a small amount of property tax or a large amount of property tax? I have a tendency to go for the large amount because of the services that the borough provides. So all that being said, I think the 18-month is a very solid approach. Let's hear what everybody has to say. Right now, what we're hearing is emotion. It's bad, it's evil. When I was a kid, the Twilight Zone would do how human beings were going to be replaced by computers. And it didn't, listen, jobs changed, but nobody got, you know, you got retrained, a new business opened up, and that's the nature of mankind, and that's particularly the nature of America. You know, the trades that were around when I was a young man just aren't there anymore. All that being said, let's take time, let's study it, let's hear it. And at some point, you know, you can always re-up the 18 months. And what this is saying is we're studying the subject matter. And that's what I would ask everybody to take home with them. We're studying the subject matter. And it's open for opinions. And there are a lot of opinions, both pro and con. And at some point, you make a decision based on what you know. When the Jupiter power plant was here early in the century, there was great concern about humming and noise. The Jupiter plant was taking power off the grid. They had a cable that went under the Raritan River, out into Raritan Bay, over to Long Island, where it came up, followed the Wantaw Expressway up someplace, and then all that power from New Jersey, which may have come from the coal plants in Ohio producing the electricity, was lighting up Long Island. And we were the redevelopment agency was very concerned about noise, about different things. And they requested from the developer that they bring them to a comparable plant. And they did. The comparable plant happened to be in Northern Ireland. They took the redevelopment agency over there. The ladies in the group at that time, I didn't go. I was doing enough international travel in those days. They took their shoes off inside the facility to test for vibrations, to test for noise, all that stuff. And they came back and they gave it, you know, this is okay. This will be good for Sayreville. And it has been good for Sayreville, pays a nice pilot, puts no kids in the school, very few cars on our streets. It was a good thing. So I don't understand this objection for looking, listening, and learning. It's fear of change. And we have to get past that because for the most part, when I meet people that have young families and we're talking, I go, listen, I'm not the future. You're the future. My job is to make sure when your kids are older and you want to get involved in local politics, that you're not going to inherit terrible stuff. My thing is to make sure that we're prudent, that we're honest, and that when it's your turn, and your turn will come when you know it's your turn, and you will come and you will run for office, and you will some of you will get elected, some won't, but you are the future. And I try to do this for the future of Sayreville. I'll be 73 in July. I'm not the future. I'm the present. And I try to make that very clear to people. It's the people in the parents of the people in Eloy's school. They're the future. The students in Eloy's school, they're the future. You know, when I hear all these old people who are very frightened of change, I know they're not the future. They were the past, and they had their turn, and they had their time. So anyway, all that being said, I think it's a very good thing. It gives Sayreville a chance to look at who we are, what we want, where we're going, and it's for the future. All right, that being said, take a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor? Thank you, everyone.